Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for some serious inspiration tonight on the Cynthia Manion Show. We're joined by the brilliant and wildly creative Alex Bowling, a director, a producer, a data analyst, and a storytelling powerhouse. She's the CEO of Like the Game Pictures, and her newest short sci-fi film, Headed for Home, just scooped up 5 awards and 18 nominations, including Best Writing and Best Actress. Whether she's creating award-winning films or decoding data sets, Alex is proof that science and art can coexist and thrive. Welcome to the stage, Miss Alex Bowling. Bowling,
oh my God,
rolled over with all of her amazingness. Where did your love for storytelling begin? Was
oh my
it
God,
film, writing, or analytics?
oh my gosh, thank you. First off, that introduction was fabulous. One of the best. Thank you. My parents would tell you that my love of storytelling started basically straight out of the womb. They said that I love to read books, and that they would, even when I was like a toddler, they would purposely turn the books upside down to see if I would realize that they were upside down. And of course I did, and had to turn them right back up.
Yes.
Then we have all these home movies of me, shaking my finger and telling everyone what to do. So they're like, oh yeah, maybe she's supposed to be a director. So
nothing's changed.
nothing has changed. So I think that I've always loved it. And I think it's just something that I always try to find the story of. It's like, oh, whether we're building a data dashboard, or like, what's the story we're trying to tell? Or I talk with my hands, so I'm constantly just like, storytelling. So it's just a great joy of mine.
Best way to live, living life with your passion. And look at her, ladies and gentlemen. She's glowing. You can just see the light coming off her. How did your career as a data analyst influence your approach as a filmmaker?
Ooh, what a great question. I am loving this. So, it confuses a lot of people because they're like, well, how can you be like analytical and creative? And it's like, well, I think a lot of people don't realize that they go hand in hand a lot with filmmaking. So not to get too nerdy, but whenever I approach a new film, I use a lot of like Excel tables and like pivot tables to kind of keep track of everything that I need to do for a project, whether it's budgets or shot lists. The longer the film, the more shots you have, or the different equipment that you might be using, what type of equipment you want to use in different shots, and the different actors or crew that you have. So it's really quite an organized process to approach something that filmmaking at times can be quite chaotic. It's lovely, but chaotic. So it's just nice to bring in that kind of like step-by-step analytical approach to filmmaking. And so it's one of the times I get to balance both joys.
Sounds like a good marriage right there.
Thank you.
What inspired you to start the Like the Game Pictures?
So my Jimmy Fallon story, if you will, but I guess you get to hear it on yours first, is that my production company is called Like the Game Pictures because I wanted something that was attached to my name, and my name is Alex Bowling. Bowling spelled like the game.
Perfect.
So whenever I was growing up and people would ask my family or, how would they spell our name, instead of spelling our name, they would always just say bowling, like the game. So
that's fabulous.
So that kind of became what my production company is. And I, at first I didn't think that I was a producer or director. I kind of just had always loved writing or music, or I got involved with acting, and I really loved acting. And somebody, a few years ago pointed out to me, they're like, oh, I think you look at scripts like a director. And I was like, okay. So I decided to try directing. It did not go so well the first time. It's very tough. But keep going is what I will say. Keep going, because you do get the hang of it. And I did realize I really love it, and kind of like the game pictures kind of really just blossomed as a result of that, as a way for me to tell the stories that inspired me.
Perfect. So, how do you balance that left brain world of analytics with your right brain world of filmmaking?
Ooh, very carefully. I would say it's a battle, and yet it's a dance, because I'm a weird analogy person, and so I would say it's a little bit like the sun and the moon, right? That we say, one is, they're not really there at the same time. But the tricky part is, if you look up at the sky during the day and the sun might be out, you can actually see a little bit of the moon sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So I think there's always just like little bits of crossover between analytics and creativity. I mean, I think there's just different types of creativity that you see everywhere. So it just so happens that mine is just very like step oriented, and so I think it's a balance of trying to be like, okay, we've got to keep this a business. We got to keep organized. We got to keep going. And then once we have the structure, okay, well, now let's add all the fun little artistic bits to it.
I want to introduce Alex to Alex. So, my Alex is in Ohio currently visiting,
Hey,
and this Alex is in Australia. Hi, Alex. Thanks for joining. So, Alex, meet Alex.
hey, Alex.
Do you find that your background in statistics and data makes you a better storyteller?
Hmm. I don't know if it makes me better. I feel like it makes me maybe more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because you really are using statistics to point out something that is significant, is really when you would use statistics, because you can use math at any point, and I do love that there's typically a right or wrong answer with math, so that is helpful. But statistics you will look at to determine if something is significantly different than the others, so there's a significant point that you have to get to. So I don't know that it makes me a better storyteller, but there is definitely something with creativity, and especially with filmmaking, that efficiency is key. You've got to be prompt. There's usually a deadline. It's still a business. So I think it makes me more efficient and better at processing stories, but not necessarily telling them.
So, congratulations on Headed for Home.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you. I'm
excited
so
for you.
excited
It's just
about
the beginning. Tell us about the concept behind the film and all those crazy details.
Okay, great. Okay. I'm so excited about this film. I feel like it's been a long time coming, and I put so much of myself into my films. And so this one, I've grown up loving sci-fi. I hope many of us have. The ability to tell, just great characters and great stories in that science fiction world is just fabulous, and anything is possible. So, of course, I loved Alien with Sigourney Weaver,
Yeah.
classic.
Yes.
And I also loved, Star Wars at the same time too, and Princess Leia. But the two things that I love about these stories that were told in the 70s, believe it or not, is that these women were ahead of their time, just powerhouse women. They were like not the damsel in distress. They were like going to save themselves. I just love these stories that show just the full range of emotion that women can have. Like one minute they can be breaking down crying, and the next minute they are saving the world. And so it's like, I want to bring a little bit of this kind of inspirational feel back to television. And that's kind of what blossomed Headed for Home. So it's an all-female space mission. They're doing biomedical research, and They just happen to encounter an alien, as one might. We never know. But through it, you see how they handle different traumas and how the characters have different trauma responses. And I just really wanted to see these characters who are kind of out of their element show why they are these powerful heroes that we want to root for. So it was super fun for me.
What did it feel like to see your film win Best Writing and Best Actress and have 18
Oh my gosh.
nominations? 18. You go, girl.
Thank you. So thrilling.
So proud of you. Ooh.
This is one of the hardest films I've ever done. So much of the film, almost all of it, is done on green screen.
Ooh.
So there's not a spaceship. We're not in space. You know, there's nothing to act with. So much of it was made afterward on the computer. And so just to see the audience really loving it and to see the judges really appreciating it's fabulous. It's a dream come true. And then I've done the contest for years, but me and my writing partner, Priscilla Wise, she's wonderful. And we actually, with this film now, have won Best Writing 3 years in a row.
Woo-hoo!
So, we can tell a good story. People love our stories. So we're just so thrilled. And now we're like, okay, how do we turn this movie into a full-length feature so that people can go see it in movie theaters? And then I have to give, a shout out to my queens, my actors who carried my movie. Kara Rayner won Best Actress, and yes, oh my gosh, all the applause, round of applause. She is the most incredible person to work with. I mean, we're talking equally as wonderful as a human as she is as an actor, just so prepared, unpredictable. You never know what she's going to do when you watch her. Even me as the director, and I'd be like, okay, I know, I wrote the script. I know what she's going to do. And she still surprised me.
And she's on. Hi, Kara. We're talking about you. Yay. We're clapping for you. Yes. Awesome.
Yes. So everybody needs to watch her. She's incredible to watch. We need the feature so I can just see what she does for an hour and a half with this character. And Catherine James is a dear friend of mine, and she was the supporting actress. And these two women, they're just such great actors. They're just such great humans. They can just really own their power and stand in the scene. So as soon as I had the idea of them working together, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be like magic on screen. So I'm super excited for everyone to see it.
As we talk about how your team came together and what the collaboration looked like, I'm going to do a shout out to Kevin and to Grace, who says, I love high-tech, brilliant, gifted women. Of course.
Yes, let's go.
Oh, yes. So Britta's biggest creative challenges or technical challenges in making the film, besides probably a lot, the whole green screen thing.
Oh, yes, the whole green screen thing. That was probably the biggest challenge. Because you're talking about how do you light green screen, and then there's a specific way that you have to put tracking markers on it. Oh, we didn't know we're doing filmmaking 101 tonight. Yeah, so if this was a green wall behind me, and I, of course, can't sit still, so I'm moving around everywhere, they have to put tracking markers on the wall behind me. So that they can keep track of the actors in the frame so that we can change the background and make it look like they're on a spaceship. So that's difficult. I mean, it was difficult all the way around because you have to light accordingly. So you're talking about a particular lighting group. You have to use the camera accordingly. So you have a very specific way that you can move the camera and use the camera for shots. So every single person is changing what they have to do because we're on green screen. The actors are doing something different because most of what they're acting with is not there. They're standing, on a white sound stage with just marks all over the floor and lights up everywhere, trying to pretend we're in space. And it's crazy because you'll see the footage and it looks like, they're in a 10 by 10 spaceship cockpit, and they're on a giant sound stage that we have just lights up everywhere around them. So that was definitely the biggest technical difficulty, but so cool.
So you guys, if you hang on, maybe she'll play it for us at the end because
Yeah.
it's not out yet. This would be like a huge, huge little gift. But how did you approach writing a story set in space with an all-female mission at the center of the core?
Oh, yeah. So I heard a while ago, and I can't remember where I heard it when it comes to writing, that they said if you want to write a good story, it should be based on the story and the characters and the conflict, and it shouldn't necessarily matter where it takes place. And so I really kind of took that to heart, and I was like, okay, so what is the foundation of this story? And the foundation really is that's these two empowered women who are just very goal oriented, that they've wanted something their whole life, and now they're facing a huge conflict that's getting in the way of them accomplishing their lifelong dream. And not only getting in the way of them accomplishing their dream, but now causing more conflict within the relationships that they have. So as long as you have that external conflict that's keeping them from their goals, and then the internal conflict of them with their relationships, you can write that story anywhere you want. So then the story became, okay, we're going to tell powerful women in space. So space being a conflict in itself, let's just add the alien for some fun. But we get to tell the great stories of not just them dealing with these external conflicts, but their internal conflicts of the trauma. And there's also a beautiful mother-daughter relationship that's there as well. So I'm really hoping that people can connect with the story in some way, even though they may have not gone to space themselves.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the idea. Let's give a little bit of fun and an infinite possibility with space, but also ground it in a really good story.
So how did your team come together? Because you have all these pieces now for the collaboration on set.
Yes. So how I like to start all of my films is you start with the most necessary pieces. So the most necessary piece for this was going to be, we knew we were going to need talented technical people. So I knew I needed a visual effects supervisor who could do the visual effects and transform the green screen into the actual spaceship. So Alan Collins came on as my visual effects supervisor. He is incredible. He is out of Knoxville, Tennessee. And apparently doing the new Jumbotron for the Smokies or something. If anybody's in Knoxville and going to see the game, you'll see some of his work. And then I got my cinematographer, Corey Allen, to come on board. He's incredible. I love the camera that he uses. He's one of those crazy people that actually likes conflict. So he fits great on film sets because when it's like, oh, what are we doing? He's just like so chill. So he was great. And once you get those foundational people, you think, okay, I've got a general idea of how we can pull this off technically. Now I need actors who are good enough to pull off how crazy of a task and how difficult this is going to be, which is why I was just so grateful that Kara and Catherine came on, because I'm being pulled in so many different directions technically, that these women are just kind of push button, they're ready to go. They don't need me to give them a lot of help. It's just kind of redirecting occasionally if we, need to massage something, but they're so good. They didn't need any help.
Grace Cavalieri asks, where did you learn filmmaking?
I learned it from the film school of Try It Yourself. Yes. So I have thought about going to film school a lot of times, but honestly, I've been so blessed that I, for the most part, live in Nashville, but I do sometimes spend time in Atlanta. And I started mostly with acting, but I loved filmmaking and storytelling so much. I was like, I need to get on every set possible. And so I just started working in almost every area of film. Any set that needed somebody, whether they needed a PA or they needed a production assistant for people who don't know film speak. Yes. So whether you needed, somebody just to pass out food or clean up or whatever. So then I worked in props, and I worked in electric, and I worked in camera, and I continued to just do all of these different areas and learn what I can and ask questions and pay attention. And I will admit that I am still learning filmmaking, and I hope that even the greats would tell you that they are still learning filmmaking, that you're always trying to better yourself, especially, nowadays with technology. I feel like it's just constantly growing and improving at a rapid rate. So it's really exciting to constantly just be thinking innovatively and like, oh, how can I grow as a filmmaker and try something new? It's one of the things too that like I experiment with each of my films. I tried something new. So that's why this film, I had never done green screen before. And I was like, oh, I want to do green screen and try it. So it's been so fun. And I love to play with color and read and do research on how color and different techniques can influence how the audience perceives your film. So it's just really enjoyable to see what tools can have an impact on storytelling.
It's a brave new world.
Ah, yes.
And Patricia says hello.
Hello.
Hi. She was just on yesterday and saw your scene with
Oh,
Kevin.
yes. I do remember seeing her. Oh, my gosh.
We had a pre-birthday celebration for our acting coach, Glenn Morshower. And all three of us run, and so was Kara. Yeehaw.
Yes.
Our winner.
Mhm.
So what excites you the most about the future of women in sci-fi and filmmaking?
I think that there are no limits. I think that's what excites me the most. Science fiction is exactly what the genre says, is that it's fiction. So really there are no limits. Anything is possible. And so I think that's what's exciting about storytelling in that realm is like you think of the famous sci-fis, even like Interstellar, you can break the rules of time. You can break the rules of connection and space. So I love that anything is possible. And I think that we can always use just a little bit of that in our everyday lives. And I'm not saying that every film of mine is going to be a science fiction, but I do love the anything is possible type vibe, and that you can break all of the rules in science fiction. In comedy, it's a little bit harder to break the rules. I mean, you can tell crazy jokes, but there's still like a rhythm that you've got to follow. And science fiction, it's like, oh, if I just decide all of a sudden that I've been telling the story one way and I want to do it a completely different, there's really no rules that I can't do that.
Grace has a good question. Is funding always a challenge? I would say
Yes.
Yes.
And that doesn't matter if it's science fiction or whatever genre. It is always a challenge in filmmaking. But, I'm going to try to look at the positive side of things, and say we're going to take a little bit from our science fiction here and say that anything is possible. The
Yes.
industry is in a state of change right now.
Mm-hmm.
State of transition. And I think some people look at that as scary because it's uncertain. But if we look at it as anything is possible, it's opening doors for, well, what is possible? We could be looking more at independent film. There's plenty of money. We just have to figure out who has it and convince them to invest in film. So should you see this, I have a great sci-fi, people.
And we will put up her Instagram and her information so you can reach out to Alex Bowling if you have a few extra million to drop in at alexjunebugs.com. And on Instagram, Alex Junebugs, because her middle name is June. Alex
Yes.
June. Isn't that adorable? What advice would you give to young women who want to direct or produce their own work? Oh, you can also see her other movies here at Venmo.com, Alex Bowling, if you want to tell them a little bit about your little list there.
Oh, yeah. So on my Vimeo, I have a Vimeo page that has a few of my films that I've already made on there. If anyone wants to check them out. I have one that I think is more of a psychological thriller drama. I have one that's kind of a romantic dramedy. I have a film noir. So I love just experimenting in all the different genres because for me, it's, again, just all about the good story. So I think the
Advice?
the best advice that I would give to anyone in film, not just women, is that
Oh, good point.
yes, to anyone in
Sorry,
film,
guys.
is that and people have probably heard this before, but what makes you different makes you special. So own your power. Don't let people, don't let people convince you that you're too weird, your idea is too different, you come from too different of a background. It's just, there's going to be so much rejection that, I mean, there's always just rejection in life. And so I think you have to hold on to what reminds you that you love it, and your uniqueness will come through, and people will see that about you and see your passion and want to work with you. Because I mean, I grew up and feeling just very like alienated and different, like I didn't belong, and who was gonna want to work with me or connect with me in some way to tell stories. And it's like, those feelings that I have are what makes me a better storyteller, because I'm able to connect with people, and I'm able to expand and have emotions that I never dreamed possible to share with people. So I think long story short, it's what makes you different or unique. Doesn't make you weird, it makes you special, and those are the stories that you should tell.
Do you think your experience as an actor shapes the way you direct?
Totally. 1,000%. If it's possible that we can go over 100%, yes. um, I very much say that I am an actor's director. I love the dance between the technical side of the camera and lighting and everything that occurs with editing and everything more on the actual film side of things. But I am a firm believer, starting as an actor first, that there is some magic that can be told from really good actors. And I am a big fan of getting as close in shots as you can possibly get. The eyes tell it all, is what I always say. So in a lot of my films and on my director's reel that you can take a look at on Vimeo, you'll see so many close-ups or extreme close-ups, because we just want to know what that person is thinking. And I got to tell you, that is something that you can't fake.
Right.
You cannot fake it. So you either have something going on behind the eyes or you don't. So that's what I look for all the time when I'm casting, or if I want to work with actors and I want to work with someone who inspires me. And when I see them work and I see them bring just so many colors to this character, I get all of these ideas so for me, it's definitely like, I'm an actor's director. I'm going to coach the actor to be the best that they can be and be their biggest champion of them doing their greatest performance and being like, oh yes, I helped them get there. And so it's just this great dance of like actors and camera, but acting has totally influenced me as a director, as a storyteller. I like see all the acting in my head even before we do it.
And that's what makes you a powerhouse and a joy to work with. What
Yeah.
stories are you most drawn to telling? Or are you still in the experimental phase where you're like everything that speaks to you, and just how do you decide?
I definitely am in the experimental phase. I will say that. I love just something will grab my attention. I'm like, oh, let's explore that and see what happens. But I do love I do love kind of an empowering story, one where somebody is really held to the fire and able to kind of blossom and show their own, and just to really show how resilient people are. I think a lot of people have just gone through so much trauma in their life, and everyone wants to focus on the negativity of, oh, all of these things happen to them. But what they're not realizing is these things might have happened to them, but look at what they have done to make it through them. I mean, human beings are so resilient and powerful. It's like those are the stories that just tug at your heartstrings and like really get you going. So even if it doesn't have a quote unquote like happy ending, you can really see people, just like I said, who are held to that fire, just rise to the challenge and inspire you in many ways. So those are the stories that I love to tell, just resilient people who have faced some kind of discouragement and kept going. That and a good layered, something layered comes back and sneaks around and surprises you. That's good too.
We're going to be looking out for Alex Baldwin's films, aren't we, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh my gosh, okay, I shouldn't say this, but I will. I'm gonna be like the Taylor Swift of filmmaking. You know how she has like Easter eggs everywhere, and people are like, "Oh, what does she mean by this like clock or something that she wore?" And it's like in my films, there are actually Easter eggs like everywhere in the films. They'll be like, "Oh, does she mean something by this?" More than likely, yes.
Ooh.
Yes, it was there on purpose.
Ooh, very fun. Very, very fun. You can do a whole contest and get more people involved looking for them too. Get your word out. Alex in Australia and Jake is very good at finding these things out.
Finding Easter eggs.
Yes, they are brilliant. You've had a powerhouse analytical career at companies like Claressa Health and HCA. What's one insight from that world that changes the way you create now?
Ooh, this is a tough one, but it was a lesson that I needed to learn. And that is filmmaking is a business. In the corporate world of analytics, the bottom dollar rules the world. It is a business. And filmmaking sometimes is that way. You know, there's definitely a business to it. There's a through line. So I don't think it should be a negative thing. It shouldn't scare people. It's just like, if you know how it works, it's a little less intimidating. Like when I was a kid, I was terrified of tornadoes. I was like so scared of them. But then I like learned more about them. And then now I find them fascinating. They're not as scary anymore. So I feel like that about like the filmmaking world of it being a business. Sure, it is a business. There's a corporate culture to it, but it doesn't have to be as scary if you know how to operate it.
Exactly. And that applies to everything, ladies and gentlemen. That saying ignorance is bliss. Go find out about it. Take your power back. Don't give it away. I'm thinking if you want to show the show, do you want to put the movie up, guys? Do you want to see the movie, ladies and gentlemen?
And it is nowhere else right now.
I've got lots of other questions, but I'm looking at the time, and you might have questions after the movie. It's short. It's what?
Yeah, it's like 5.5 minutes.
5.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be fabulous.
Okay. So we're hollering at Eric, right?
Eric, we're ready to play Headed for Home.
Yeah.
Leah.
Mission control.
Fix the transmission. Update mission control. Secure the door.
Commander, where are you going? You don't know what's out there. You're risking our lives. Commander.
Without the data, the mission is a failure.
That's what makes it a failure?
Payload loading.
Your daughter just died.
Shut that off! Lock the door behind me. Little baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna see you. Look at me, look at me. If I say clear. Leah, you left your post.
Are you okay? Where's the alien?
Mechanical room. Did you connect with mission control? Are we ready for rendezvous?
Yes, there's been a change in rank. I am the commanding officer now. I came down here to save your ass, and I'll get to your post. We're leaving.
Not without the data. Millions of lives are at stake.
I said, get to your post.
What kind of commander abandons her mission?
What kind of mother abandons her child?
You want it? Take it.
It's not yours to give. I earned this.
You think this is what you want until it's all you have left.
Check the data.
And then we'll gas the ship. We're gonna kill that bitch.
You have 60 seconds, Commander.
She did.
Ship failsafe activated. 30 seconds to gas initiation. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Leah, I can't open the door.
1. Lockdown protocol.
It's locked.
initiated.
Leah, open the door.
Sorry, Commander. I'm afraid I can't.
Leah, open the door. Open the fucking door. This is Commander Dillon.
And Pilot Leah.
Mission complete. Finally headed for home.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
It's really something when you think about that. And I've seen this my third time seeing it. It's just like so into it. How could that possibly be on a green screen?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. We just had a really talented team that we work with. And I think the next steps for the film, we're going back, we're kind of doing a new showcase edit, if you will. And this is the one that we're going to try to pitch to people to see if anyone would be interested in a full feature that might go to theaters. So we do have our fingers crossed, toes crossed, and all the other things crossed, but very excited. Thank you for the nice comments I'm seeing, Patricia, and everybody saying.
Patricia says, Alex, you are a superstar. Wow, intense. I would love to have you as my bodyguard. Love you. Oh, you don't even know the half of it. She's a fighter and she can protect herself and she does kickboxing and she's good with arms and a bow and arrow. And yes. Hi,
Thank
Doreen.
you.
Thanks for joining. Did you catch that? Ooh, woo, woo, woo. So, Alex, how do you stay organized with so many projects across film and data and like your real life too, and your two beautiful dogs?
Oh, let's be honest. I have no life. No. I work all the time. No. I am really good at juggling tasks. I always have been. I joke that I get bored really easy. So I think I just constantly have to juggle tasks, and it helps me keep moving. Doesn't work for everybody.
Sean wants you to be his bodyguard too. Are
Oh
you
my
kidding, Sean? We want you to be ours. Let's go.
Yes, Sean, we know you work out all the time.
Yes, definitely catch the replay, Darlene. It is amazing. She is so good. You have to catch
Thank
it.
you.
You will not believe it. You will not.
But yeah, I guess staying organized for me, the thing that makes the biggest difference is I kind of divide things up into like what needs to be done now, what needs to be done soon, and sometime in the future. Because if you just put everything on your to-do list, you just start to melt down. so I'm like, okay, what needs to be done today, and the rest will just kind of filter through.
Yes. And those next day ones or the other ones sometimes just raise their little head and become the most important ones. And you got to go, okay.
Yeah.
Are there unexpected overlaps between producing films and managing business and intelligence? Of course there are, but where do you put them on your list? How do you handle that?
I wish I could tell people how to handle it, but I don't know. And I think this is one of the things that I love about storytelling is you don't know how you're going to make it through a trial. You just do. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it. You're like, all right, I don't know how I'm going to figure this out, but I'm going to figure it out. And I think that's what's so beautiful. And it's one of the things that we, all go to therapy for is to realize that you can handle uncomfortable things and you're a lot stronger than you think. So whenever you like wig out about something new that's happening, it's always like, okay, I've made it through 100% of my bad days so far. I got this one.
Exactly. And it gives you such oomph to get up in the morning. You're just out there already going like, oh, I can't believe the week's over. I can never believe it. I'm like, yes. How did this happen? Wait a minute. Slow down. You move. Anyway, what's your favorite tool or software for staying productive? Is it pivot tables or editing suites?
So actually my favorite is it's called Trello.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many people are familiar with it, but it's basically like an organization tool of lists. So you can create like a header list, and then you have like bullets on the list, and then you can open up the individual bullets and they like open up into a new card and list, so you can actually like make notes in it. So when I'm generating stories or films, I have lists for crew members, I have lists for cast members, for plot lines, for future story ideas, and then each bullet can open up and kind of blossom into something else. So it's very much like an organization tree or something, but it helps me kind of keep everything into little buckets.
Very organized. How organized are you, ladies and gentlemen? There is always an opportunity to organize. Just open that junk drawer you have downstairs.
And there's different tools that work for each individual person. It's just for me, like seeing them in like columns of lists, like is like, oh, this is related to that, and this is related to that. It's just easier for me to group them. Perfect.
And it's fun to see them get checked off too.
Oh, yes. That is a favorite of many people.
What is next for like the game pictures? Any new films on the horizon? I'm sure you got 100 like.
Oh my gosh, yes. So many ideas. Where to go first is really the question. So we will be doing, like I said, kind of an enhanced version of Headed for Home. So the version that you've seen tonight will be enhanced, kind of rebooted, and really just kind of stretched and cleaned up so that we're ready to say, hey, we want to turn this fantastic project into a feature. So we're going to try to pitch that to different festivals around the country or the world. And so that's really the top priority now. But the one that I have been working on for a couple years that I hope to kind of work on a little bit more later this year, I have a modern day pirate series I have been working on for quite some time. and about have the pilot written. So I will be filming probably the opening 5 to 10 minutes of the first episode, hopefully this fall. So we'll hopefully that'll happen and it'll be great. I have lots of fun ideas about it.
How exciting.
Thank you.
How long have you been working on that one? You said 2 years? Well,
At
somebody
least.
said hi to you from Illinois. Dominique?
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. Share this out, ladies and gentlemen. She is a superstar, and everyone has to know about her so they can send her lots of money so she can keep on doing these big projects and get them all into feature films and on TV so that you can watch them more easily.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, so Headed for Home will hopefully be a feature or potentially a limited series. We're playing around with that idea. And then the other will be a pirate series because I've always kind of loved pirates. And the series will be a lot in the vein of like Game of Thrones or maybe The Sopranos, because I just love those very intricate, thrilling, dramatic shows that have such creative writing. And so I've been working on the pirate series for about 2 years now. And I've been hoping to film a section of the first episode. So hopefully it was supposed to be earlier this year, but we ended up doing Headed for Home instead. So hopefully it'll be later this year that we'll film the first 5 to 10 minutes of that.
That is so exciting. And where will you film that?
Probably Nashville. That's mostly where I'm based. And they have an incredible creative crew and group of people there, especially being, it's Music City. So creativity just is everywhere, but there's actually quite a few people who are really good at film. And so I feel really lucky to be so connected with such wonderfully talented people. And I see no reason really to go elsewhere right now. Although should the feature event or the series eventually get picked up, the dream was always to kind of have it set in Boston.
Ooh.
So I don't know if we would film on location in Boston or not. We'll have to see.
They would love to have you. And I have a lot of friends up there.
Ooh.
I do. And my son's there too, as a matter of fact, with my new granddaughter. Yes.
Aw, congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. There was another question I wanted to ask you, but you have so much relationship capital here now in Tennessee now.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it when you got wardrobe from the opera to lend you costumes for a little black and white that you did.
Yes. So it was a local theater in Nashville. We were doing a film noir, which was set in the 1920s. And of course, you can't do it without the appropriate wardrobe. And so a theater lent us all the costumes, and they were so fabulous. And I felt so terrible though. And the film that we're talking about is La Schema. If anyone chooses to go watch it, it's a fun little black and white silent film that I did 5 years ago. And the rain that you see in the film is real. It was downpouring while we were filming, and we've got umbrellas over cameras and everything else. And so I just feel horrible, though. The costumes they let us borrow were just getting drenched. The bottom of my dress had and I'm so short anyway, but it had like 1.5 feet of water at the bottom. But the rain just really played into the story. It just made it so magical. And Sean, where you find it. So they shared my Vimeo page. It's vimeo.com/ Alex Bowling. And La Schema is on there. It's really the first film that showed me that I could wear all 4 hats, act, write, direct, and produce. Barbara Streisand has always been a role model of mine. I love that she wears all the hats and does all the things. And I was like, oh, I want to do that, but it's really, really hard. How am I going to do it? And I tried it for that film, and it went really well. And I would say that the key to doing it correctly is to work with really talented people and also work with your friends. Because if you work with people that you care about, it does make it a lot more enjoyable.
I'm very impressed that all your friends stuck with you during the almost tornado that you were in.
Yes. I'm telling you though, while it was cold and miserable, it did add something magical to it. I mean, talk about if like you're a method actor who just feeds off the environment. Like it was some method acting going on there. You're just drenched. We're doing, we're doing some secret agent stuff.
I can't even imagine. What happened to the costumes? Did they dry clean them?
Yes.
They got all repaired?
Yeah, we had them dry.
Your shoes, those were your shoes, and then they had those cool old shoes, old-fashioned shoes for the men.
Yeah, the men had. Yes, and they weren't in the rain. The guys weren't in the rain too much, and we shot at this incredible old theater. It's called the Center for the Arts. It's in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I actually was in a play there a couple years before we shot that film, and I did Sense and Sensibility at that theater.
Wow, nice.
So they let me use the theater as kind of like an external set because it's very old and it has the old pillars and it's gorgeous. So that with the rain was so fun. It's kind of stories, you dream about telling.
And you certainly couldn't order up that rain.
I mean, it was just, I love those things about film. With filmmaking, it's always a panic. Like it's just a dumpster fire of chaos up until you say action. And then somehow magic happens. Like, I think I was driving to set for Les Gama and I was like panicking. I was like, it's downpouring. I'm hearing from my cinematographer that they can't get the cameras out. We don't know how we're going to film. I don't know what's going to happen. Then all of a sudden, the Mr. Peanut truck passes me. I don't know. I was like, I didn't know this was a thing. Apparently there's a Mr. Peanut truck now. That has nothing to do with the story. I just thought it was odd.
It made you laugh and smile.
Yeah. And so then we like get out all the umbrellas and we're changing in cars or something crazy. And you say action and the magic happens. And I tell you, it happens with every film. Every film, you're always this panic moment, no matter what role you're in, of how is this going to come together? I don't know how we're going to make it work. This, we had a landslide and 50,000 else things that happened. And somehow where there's a will, there's a way, and the magic happens.
That's beautiful. Patricia says, so brilliant and inspiring.
Thank you.
So your dream project that you haven't made yet that you're itching to do is the Pirates. Tell us more about the Pirates.
It's definitely a dream of mine. I would say that Headed for Home is now very close, high on that list. They're both dreams. If we can make both of them, that'd be great. Just the feature and the series. Don't make me pick. No. It's like, how can you pick on your ice cream sundae? What, you just want one thing? No, we need like all the things. So, but the Pirate series, I've always been really inspired because a lot of people think that pirates are really ruthless and, that they didn't have any order and that they just were pillaging and doing everything horrible. And it's actually not true at all. It's often portrayed wrongly and really in the height of their glory in the 1700s, pirates in the Caribbean came about because of the history lesson, the Spanish and English war. There was a war going on in the Caribbean. And so the English government was paying their sailors to rob from the Spanish. And so what ended up happening is they fell on hard times, and England could no longer pay these sailors to steal from the Spanish. And these sailors who were stuck in the Caribbean without the help of their government decided that they were going to band together and steal from not only the Spanish, but their own country to survive. And so they actually kind of formed their own government, and they had democracy, and they looked out for each other. So I really love the idea of this just tight knit group of people who look out for each other and kind of overcome hardship. And bless who loves, I just love all the little magical pirate stories underneath.
And you have great support with your two dogs. You have which are their names? Franny and Quinn.
Yes, Franny and Quinn.
We have a picture, Eric, if you want to pop that up.
Oh,
aren't they adorable?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are named after 90s television starlets. Fran after
who, me?
Yes. Fran after Fran Drescher. And Quinn after Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
Perfect. And our family has Francis as our main name, middle names, first names, and granddaughter names. And we're calling her Frankie. So I saw that. I was like, oh, Francis, and our Pope just died, Pope Francis. I met the first one. But and you traveling around too. You were in Rome, you get around also.
Yes. So when I was in college, I studied abroad in the Netherlands because I thought I was going to be a neurosurgeon. And so I worked in an fMRI lab where they did brain scans. And so when I was studying there, I got to travel a lot and on holiday, go to Rome or Belgium or Paris. I was very spoiled for a little bit. So I do like to make it back to Europe when I can, but haven't been able to in the last few years.
Any trips on the horizon?
Not yet. I have to put all my money into film, but hopefully soon.
What film festival can you go there? Cannes.
Right? Yes. Have to figure that one out for sure. There are also some great film festivals in England that I would love to get connected with as well.
Okay. Anyone know of anything of their connector? That's all we need. Connections, relationship capital.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to leave our audience with?
Ooh, well, I guess I would say thank you for enjoying stories and keep telling them, because I think every story matters, no matter what it is.
And you're all a star in your own story.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. And you are doing the whole movie right now of your life. What did Sean say? When I get my own cat replay. Oh, that's funny.
Ripley. Ripley from Alien. Yes.
Good one, Sean. Good one.
So my character in Headed for Home is named Ellie, and that's after Ellen Ripley from Alien. Yes.
Good one.
So
excellent. Wish I knew Luke. Well, don't we all? So remember, you are the star in your own movie. So plan it out, plan out your budget, find out where your financing is coming from, keep your slate clean, write it down, write your life, plan your legacy now from the end going backwards, forward, and go right here. And then I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And if you have a plan and statistics and you figure it out, it's your plan. It's your life. You're the star.
One thing my dad told me at a very young age that's always stuck with me, and he didn't know that it was going to be about film, but I use it for it, is he always said, work for what you want to be. And so I've kind of used that from ever since I started in film. It's like, well, if I want to be a multi-million-dollar film director and actor, then I have to act like it now, even if I have no money and I'm shooting under umbrellas at a community theater.
You got a big fan here with your superstar. Our best actress says, huge Alex fan here. Yes, we know. Congrats, Alex. Can't wait to watch you shine in the future projects. And we can't wait to see you in those future projects, Miss Rayner. That was amazing. So check her on Instagram at Alex Junebugs and go watch some of the other films and let us know what you like. And we can meet back when she has her next one out so we can tell everyone about it. Darlene says forward to backwards. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you. Thank you so much. And everyone for tuning in, enjoying. Like, I love stories and I get ridiculously animated talking about them. So it's been fun to work off all of my inspiration this evening. Thank you for having me.
And share it out. And we'll see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to see what we have in store for you. Go back, hit the replays. There are so many great guests with so many great stories. And all we can do is learn and keep on learning and follow your dreams and listen to your heart, tell the truth, do the right thing, be kind. Thank you. And thank you, Miss Alex. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.